Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me here today. Today, we are witnessing a moment of profound cultural change, one that challenges the foundation of societal norms surrounding gender, identity, and empowerment. In the summer of 2023, a wave of cultural phenomenon known as Girl Summer swept across the world, fueling an unprecedented movement of female empowerment. From the Barbie movie to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, women have reclaimed their voices, their identities, and their autonomy, redefining what it means to be a woman in the modern world. Yet, with progress comes resistance. As women break free from the limitations placed on them, we see a powerful backlash from those who seek to preserve traditional roles and values. This cultural clash is not just a moment in history, it is a pivotal turning point that demands we question how we can bridge divides, embrace authenticity, and ensure that every woman has the freedom to define herself on her own terms. This pivotal moment exemplified how progress is met with intense resistance. It reshaped society and sparked powerful backlash, showing the urgent need for conversations that bridge the deep divides in our deeply polarized society. Whether in support or opposition of the movement, both sides highlight the necessity of finding common ground to allow all people to be authentically themselves. A key driver of this movement was the buzz around the Barbie movie. This film became a powerful symbol of femininity and womanhood. The movie modernized the idea of Barbie and portrayed them as multidimensional characters grappling with identity. In the film's climactic monologue, it critiqued the unrealistic and limiting standards placed on women by society. America Ferrera's character stated, "You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but everything is also your fault." This monologue reflected the exhaustion that many women feel and prompted many to redefine their definition of and perspective of girlhood. Similarly, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour mirrored this cultural shift by encouraging women to embrace their girlhood. Through her performances, Swift offered a safe space for women to celebrate their journeys, reclaim their stories, and challenge the expectation placed on them by society. From trading friendship bracelets to creating fan projects, Swift's tour gave women the opportunity to connect and advocate for the inclusion of women in such powerful spaces. And capitalizing off this newfound empowerment, Sabrina Carpenter blended her sensuality with depth, showcasing that femininity and credibility are not mutually exclusive. Carpenter, much like Swift, refused to conform to the expectations placed on her by a society that often diminishes women's accomplishments in the name of purity and modesty. Her ability to merge her sensuality with artistic depth served as a direct challenge to the restrictions that women often face in public life. However, this movement of empowerment did not go uncontested. With every cultural shift toward equality and autonomy, resistance is often not far behind. This is where the backlash theory, as articulated by feminist scholar Susan Faludi, becomes crucial. As women began to reclaim their space in the cultural, political, and media spheres, the backlash emerged, amplifying the deep divides in our society. Traditional figures, both in politics and media, started to frame this empowerment as a threat to traditional values. For example, Taylor Swift's increasing political involvement, particularly in her endorsement for Kamala Harris, was seen as an offense by some ideological groups who criticized her for influencing younger voters. But why do we see such a resistance? The answer lies in how cultural progress often challenges the very structures that have long held power. Various groups capitalized on this cultural tension, some positioning themselves as defenders of traditional values against what they deemed inappropriate or harmful, while others leveraged this newfound empowerment to advocate for greater representation of women in politics. This clash between empowerment and resistance was amplified by pop culture and seeped into our political and cultural realms. Women in leadership positions have long faced heightened scrutiny, with their actions often overshadowed by questions about their competence, authority, and appearance. Many hoped that Girl Summer would open doors to a more inclusive society, one that truly values women in both the workplace and the home. However, this rise of empowerment sparked such a counter-reaction. Following this shift, trends like trad wife TikTok and old money aesthetic emerged, promoting a return to traditional gender roles, particularly the notion of women staying at home. While there is nothing inherently wrong with choosing to stay home, these trends frame it as an ideal or expected lifestyle. The issue arises when this choice is framed as the only acceptable option for when it is celebrated as the ultimate form of femininity. Bridging the divide between perspectives lies in the freedom to choose, whether that choice is to embrace traditional roles, pursue a career, or carve out a new path that defies conventional expectations. Women should be able to define their own worth and roles based on their personal desires, not societal pressure. However, as the backlash continues, it's important to recognize the strength and resilience that has emerged in response. This ongoing cultural war highlights the need for greater education and advocacy around women's rights and gender equality. As women continue to redefine their identities and assert their autonomy, their voices must be heard, not just in the arts, but media, but also in the political sphere. Ultimately, the story of Girl Summer is one of empowerment, resistance, and reflection. And throughout centuries, we have never found a definitive solution to gender equality. But it is essential to continue analyzing and questioning our culture, even in the face of opposition. Cultural progress is always met with resistance, but that should not deter us from pushing forward. We must learn from the past, educate others, and advocate for a world where women can define themselves on their own terms. As we face the challenges ahead, remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory in this ongoing fight for equality. Thank you.